Hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Misty Magdalena Grace. I go by Magdalena for short. Welcome to my channel. This is our weekly runes reading. If you're new to my channel, welcome. So excited to have you here, introducing you to runic divination, magic, and messaging. I am your host. This is my channel. Healthy and Wealthy and Wise is the main focus. As a mind, body, spirit alchemist, I help people heal their mind through physical and spiritual practices and daily rituals. And runes have been a part of my life for 2.5 years, and I love being a reader, helping you recognize how to reconnect to your inner wisdom. That's the wisdom part of Healthy and Wealthy and Wise. Whether you're challenged by health, wealth, relationships, career, finance, it's all under the umbrella of what we cover here on my channel. And I've started providing these weekly readings to be able to help you trust yourself. I went through a journey of a lot of self-doubt, self-loathing, uncertainty, lack, scarcity, and addiction, and so on and so forth. And I really shut my intuition down. I didn't trust myself anymore. And as I started to heal, and especially when I started working with the runes every day, that's when I really came back to myself. And so I invite you to hopefully be in a sacred space. I have my own candle lit, I have my incense burning, and I just cleansed with some Palo Santo. So feel free to join in. We're calling in spirit and our guides, and I am going to perform the reading 3 different runes that are past, present, future. Past represents this past week, which I will say, if I look and sound tired, this past week was the first time I ever drew 3 reverse runes. So I'm hopeful that I will never do that again. Because this past week was honestly and transparently one of the hardest weeks of my life. However, because I've done so much shadow work and so much alchemy, I was able to move through it instead of downward spiraling and staying in a negative loop and not getting anything accomplished. I was able to resource myself and, get stronger and stronger and fortified by it, as opposed to staying in what I call victim consciousness mode. So I was able to grow and expand and grow with the challenge as opposed to be defeated by it. And actually, on that note, we had a beautiful women's circle here yesterday celebrating Ostara, and we have a women's yoni steam, womb healing, May 10th if you're local. I'm also going to be opening up a lot more conversations around the sacred marriage, also known as a sacred union. I work with a lot of coupled people, though, so I prefer to say sacred marriage. And what I mean has nothing to do with your marriage, technically. It's that divine union within of the feminine and the masculine hemispheres of our brain, which then is also connected to our soul's journey in our heart. So sometimes I say the longest journey is the journey from the heart to the head. And truly, it comes to balancing those hemispheres, the feminine, the masculine. And then, of course, the heart being on the feminine side of our body, there's a lot more wisdom that we shut ourselves down by not going into our heart. And so you're going to hear me talking a lot more about the divine sacred masculine, the divine sacred feminine, and then that sacred marriage of the two together. I'm starting retreats and workshops this summer. And so if you want to come to Southern California and be a part of it, stay tuned. I'll have more information as I have it. MagdalenaGrace.com is where you can find out more about that, as well as subscribe my YouTube channel, join my Facebook group. If you want to also book me for a private runes reading, you can do that there as well. So let's dive in and talk about this week of April 21st. So heading out of Easter week, we're now officially in Taurus season. Today is Saturday as the time I'm recording this. We have entered into Taurus season, an earth sign that's really focused on grounded action, grounded wisdom. So we're out of the Aries, the fire, and into the earth. So this is kind of exciting because that fire brought with it a lot of anger, a lot of intensity. So what do the runes want us to know today about the week ahead? So I'm going to pull them first, and then I'll do the reading. We'll show you each one as I do the reading. Now that I'm actually, oops, that one fell away. All right. Interesting. Okay. And we're heading into a new moon. The new moon will be on the 27th. So that's going to be on Sunday of next week. Wow. Okay. This is fascinating. Fascinating. So again, I always say take the best, leave the rest. This is not a one-on-one reading. So at the end of the day, you can just let whatever comes in one ear that lands and let it go out the other. So the first one is manaz. So hopefully you can see it. I'm going to show it to you first. For those of you who are new, I show them and then I read them with my own divine guidance. But take a look at this one first. See if you get any messages. So this one represents this past week, which is actually really interesting because of the week that I had myself. Manas actually represents humanity. It's also about identity and bringing order into your life individually. And then as you bring order into your life, you'll bring it into your social circle. So it is an interesting one because it actually includes a couple of other runes inside of it. You can't maybe know this. If you don't know the runes, you may not know this, but there's a rune inside of it that's called Gabo. And Gabo is also about relationships. So as you take care of yourself and you better understand, know thyself, literally, I can't make this stuff up. I just did a podcast recently on know thyself, remembering who you truly are. And I emailed that out on Thursday. I think it was Thursday. And so interestingly enough, if you want to go back, I'll put the link to that show in the show notes here. But interestingly enough, you can go back and listen to that show. It really is all about know thyself. And really, when you know yourself, then you know what tribe you can attract. You can up level. You can have a healthier relationship with others. First, it's all about self, relationship with yourself. So that was talking about this past week. So now here, again, the idea behind the runes is you look at it almost like sacred geometry or images. I'm going to just let you look at it first, and then I'll tell you. So think about this past week. Were you really getting clarity on your identity? Were you really able to have a little more, make a little more order out of life's chaos, which is 1,000% what I experienced. And now here is Uru's reverse. So take a look at that. It's almost like you can look at it, it's like an upside down U, and this is what it looks like upright, and yet we're reversed. This is talking about the beginning of the week. This is talking about the first half. So normally when it's upright, it's talking about physical strength, vitality, good health, etc. But what this talks about, the first week, there's going to be some blocks or stagnation, which means, and I'm actually already feeling that today, but it's again because of this past week, indicating a need for recharging. So go into this week slowly, recharge. Maybe if you know, I'm going to encourage you to set an intention by the end of this show. Just really means at the beginning of the week, you want to recharge and focus on your self-care. I've been seeing it with my clients, been seeing it with friends, and of course, I'm seeing it myself. There may have been some challenges from this past week that sort of spill into this coming week. So maybe you need to reassess. Maybe you need to get to slow down, which is actually brilliant because we're heading into a new moon. So the dark moon is really the second half of the week into the new moon. So you really want to make sure that you maybe slow down to even speed up. slow down before you set those new moon intentions and focus on self-care the first half of the week. So if you have a health goal, then what do you want to do to take care of your health? If you have a financial goal, what do you want to do to slow down and maybe take a look at your finances? If you have a relationship goal, maybe you want to ask yourself, reflect on your core values. Is this relationship working? That kind of thing. Just really slow down, slow your roll is the main idea. Here is the third and final rune. And see what comes up for you. The idea is to look at the rune and see if it just brings up a thought, feeling, emotion, or energy shift. And this one I don't pull very often reversed. Like I said, there's been a lot of reverses the past couple of weeks. So this is Feihu in reverse. So this is heading into the second half of the week. This is heading into the new moon. So the main idea here, and this is, for some, maybe I always tell people it's the runes don't tell you maybe what you want, it tells you what you need, and a lot of times it's very, very direct. So this actually talks about deprivation. If you waste money, this would also be an example of what that could mean, is losing property, losing money. Maybe you thought you were going to get a tax return, and now it turns out that you actually owe money. And again, it's not always a great thing to hear, but when you know better, you can do better. So this is talking about to really be careful. This is also why I do these predictions. Be really, really careful with your money on the second half of the week. Be really, really careful with your possessions. Someone, I just had a friend last week tell me that they had a backpack stolen. One of their kiddos left a backpack at the mall, forgot, went back, and it was gone by the time they were back there. So really, really be mindful of your spending. Be mindful of your possessions. Don't get greedy is basically what it says. Maybe you want to focus on saving or giving money instead of spending, or maybe you just want to make sure you lock your car, lock your house. That's really what it is. It's like a warning. It's like just an awareness. Maybe also someone's going to try to screw you out of money. Maybe there's a financial decision that's going on in your life right now, and especially in the second half of the week, we're heading into the new moon. If you're setting new intentions around money, this is also a warning to don't be greedy. Don't be wasteful. Waste not, want not, right? So this is really good to make sure that you know that the more you know, the better you can be. You have to forgive me. It was a really intense week, so I'm actually really, really tired today. So again, Manaz, finding order out of chaos, heading into this coming week, really getting clear on your identity, really getting clear on what you want, really getting clear on your tribe and your people that you're surrounding yourself with. Maybe you even let go of some friends this past week. All of the signs for the first half of the week is to slow down, do more self-care, maybe do some more reflection on your finances, your relationship. And then, of course, Feihu is just, that one's definitely specific to money. Or if you have a relationship goal, it's just maybe don't spend a lot of money on that relationship, or maybe you're going to want to just be mindful in those conversations with relationships around money. I wanted to do a bonus reading, a bonus card to clarify the energies of the week, and I'm pulling from the Magdalene Manifestation card deck, since it is just before Easter. I'm performing this reading. And this one also has a bit of sacred geometry magic to it. I'll show you when you see it. And this just clarifies, this puts like a cherry on top, just to give you one more perspective of the whole week ahead. Again, starting Monday, April 21st. What is the wisdom you'd like us to know today for the week ahead? Ooh, amazing. So this one is sublime time, your highest timeline. Time is multidimensional. Be present and in joy to collapse time. Reach your targets at the speed of love. I've been talking to a lot of people about time management and boundaries. So this is the card. I'm going to try not to, the lights are reflecting. So just taking a look at that, see if anything comes through. And then I'll do the reading and then we'll close it out. So it's really cool because if self-care and reflection is part of your week ahead, this is really, really a good time to focus on maybe reflecting, maybe reflecting on your time and your money. That's what I'm getting from divine guidance. Really be aware of who and what you're spending your time on or with, and who or what are you spending your time and your money with. So this is what it says. There is a new paradigm of time in unity consciousness. There's a new paradigm of time in unity consciousness, which is the time we're in right now. The sublime time code, like love, moves at a high speed. Time as a frequency is very rapid and is accelerating in velocity. Time is now, time is multidimensional, time is a being of light. Time is one of the resources like money, relationships, and energy that spans your entire life and touches all now moments. In the old paradigm, you may have experienced a lack of time and unconsciously perpetuated this by repeatedly saying things like, I don't have enough time to get everything done, or I don't have time for that. There can be a poverty consciousness around time, as well as an overlay of the idea that you have good times and bad times, fun times and hard times. Sublime time is a particular being of light connected to the new paradigm of time, and being of light of time and the source of all time, which is source. So there's a new thought around time. People have said for a long time, time is an illusion. I say there's no such thing as time management. There's energy management and choice management. So this goes right along with that. With the Magdalene card of sublime time, time is sublime. Sublime as an enjoyable, pleasurable, joyful, ecstatic, lush, and nourishing. There is a restoration of all now moments, being in relationship to the totality of all now, in such a way that no matter what you're doing or being, your system is nourished and you're tapped into the multidimensional sublime time. Linear time is a construct and it's useful until it's not. Multidimensional time, on the other hand, is beyond time and space. Having this being of light that is sublime time join your creation, love conceptions, and manifestation containers is a gift. It accelerates the speed at which your creations come into form. With multidimensional time, you can imagine that time is stacked on top of itself, like in a vertical column that then is spread out over a horizontal column of now moments. Like Kundalini energy moves both vertically and horizontally, multidimensional time moves and grows in a dynamic spiral. The power to choose and to create resides within this now moment. Sublime time is a sacred union of how you feel in each now moment, experience of the external creation of time. So this is a huge thing to apply into your life. So I would encourage you, if you even want to pause, take a look at this card and just gaze at it for a while. This card is telling you you've done enough. You've been enough. It goes right along with the reading. What I'm hearing from all of this whole reading, is last week was maybe chaotic or intense or energetically depleting. This week ahead, enjoy, restore, reflect. Enjoy, restore, reflect. I think this is a great message. We can get so busy as soon as spring comes in, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, and just really taking that time to slow down. So I hope this was helpful. I encourage you to set an intention. I'm not going to tone today because I'm listening to my own body, and I am pretty depleted from this past week. I'm going to go and restore and reflect and shut down for the rest of the weekend. So I hope this reading was helpful. Set an intention, take a breath, and ask yourself, how did this reading impact me? What came through for me? How can I be this week? What can I do or not do this week to just be in the flow, ride the waves, really sit with your new moon intentions? I'll be doing that new moon reading next weekend. And in fact, because of the day when the new moon falls, I'm only going to do one reading. The new moon is the reading for next weekend. I'll have ritual, I will tone, I'll be restored and replenish, I promise. If you have any questions, reach out to me, book a reading at magdalenagrace.com, and stay tuned. I really, really want to help inspire more health wisdom, wealth wisdom, relationship wisdom. I've got some amazing episodes coming up this week. Healing the Goddess with my friend Catherine Storing and Livia Genvi, the Oracle of OC. We're going to be talking about what women want. So stay tuned. 2 guests this week, which is very rare. Until next time, everyone, here's to your best health, your best wealth, your best relationships, all of that by understanding your best internal wisdom within. Bye-bye for now.
Subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Hire Magdalena for a runes reading or healing session by emailing support@microdosingforhealth.com.